Good evening, one and all. Welcome to class. Thursday nights, summer 2020. It's 6:05 p.m. Tonight is a light class. Going to keep it fairly light with material. Talk about some definitions. Half the class is still working on quiz number 2, and I sense a feeling that class is going to the dark side. And so I want to keep it fairly light this evening and prepare us for our midterm, which will be handed out at the end of class next week. Begin the definitions of Chapter 5, Retail Accounting. And I can't not review quiz number 2 this evening because we have some students still working on the quiz, and that's to be fair to everybody, we can't really go over the quiz. But for those who are still working on the quiz, I will be available at the end of class this evening for any questions that I could answer in regards to the quiz and the accounting cycle. So if you do have questions in regards to some of your work, you can wait to the end of class tonight and ask me those questions. But to be fair to the people who have submitted them, I'm not going to go over too much detail about quiz number 2 tonight in class. We're going to talk about the definition of merchandise versus service companies and accounting. Merchandising and companies. Up to this point in class, we've been dealing with companies that are providing a service, travel, consulting. No companies that are providing a product for resale. That's retail. Or no companies that produce something, a manufactured good. We've just been dealing with the service areas. Well, tonight we're going to begin our discussions leading up into more detail next week in class on retail accounting. And there's a couple of differences, but it's the same format. It's the same accounting cycle. It's just some of the the accounts are different in that setup. So let me show you. Before I get to that, I have posted a couple of new things to our Blackboard this evening for you to review. This next week is there's no grades for this week's work coming up in the next week. The next grade after the quiz that you post will be the midterm examination, which will be next week's assignment. There's no graded work this week, but if you notice, if you look at your Blackboard, and you don't have to do it right now, but if you look at your Blackboard, you'll now see under quiz and examinations, project paper. Project paper. You are going to write a paper in accounting class. And if you click on that file folder, this is the details of that paper. The paper is due the last day of class, August 13th. You have plenty of time to work on it. And the paper is to determine and review a 10K filing for a corporation. What is a 10K? A 10K is the financial statements and financial data of a corporation that they're required to file annually to the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's the end result of all the accounting work by the accountants of that company and the CPA firm of that company to disclose everything you always wanted to know about the company but were afraid to ask. Their financial statements. And in this work, you are going to be asked a certain amount of questions about the 10K and the data in it. And what you're going to do is answer those questions in the paper format. Now, I have supplied to you a sample paper on how this should look. Your task maybe this week, since we have rather no work really working on as far as a grade, is maybe to download this information and get a hang of it. Now I know a lot of students tell me, Mr. Hassey, why in the fruit are we doing a paper in accounting? Well, that's an easy one. Accountants have to present information too. Accountants have to report data too. Not only the numbers of the financial statements, they have to write memorandums, papers, PowerPoint presentations, speeches to board of directors, to investors. In order to be a business administration major, you need to not only know how to crunch numbers and rationalize theory and answer multiple choice questions, you also have to be able to write. To present. If any of you go on to MBA studies in this class, in this university or any university, MBA studies are all research and presentations. Research of data and interpretation of data, and then presenting it in a variety of formats. Group presentations, PowerPoint presentations, papers, memorandums, speeches. That's what an MBA study is about, in case any of you are interested. I hated it when I did it, but it was good to do. Trust me, it prepared me for a lot of stuff. But be that as it may, you're going to write a paper in this class, and usually the paper ends up being about 4 to 5 pages long. We're not talking, major work here. All right, I'm going to bring up the overview of this. This is the overview here, and here's the overview here in a file that you should download and review. But here's also the overview that I implanted in a file folder here. And let me just show you this. This work is 15% of your grade. And trust me, people, and I'm not making light of this because you have to do a little work, but this is the easiest friggin' A you'll get in this class. Besides class participation and just showing up and doing some discussion forums, this is an easy A. And if you struggle with quizzes, you struggle with examinations, this will get your grade fixed. 15%. It's an easy A. Trust me. All right. Let me just read this first paragraph. The object of the project is for you to improve your understanding of accounting concepts and become familiar with the contents of a company's annual report. Form 10-K filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is also referred to as an annual report, and a proxy statement for a Fortune 500 company. Now, what's a Fortune 500 company? Fortune is a magazine, a business magazine, and every year they come out with the top 500 companies in the United States. Name any major corporation, it's in the Fortune 500. You are to pick one. You are, not me. Now, if you don't know any Fortune 500 companies or don't want to research and find one, I will pick one for you if you'd like me to. But I want you to pick one Fortune 500 company, and you're going to download and answer some questions in the paper about their financial information in the Form 10-K. You will do this as an individual project and submit your written report to Blackboard by Thursday, August 13th, 2020. What you have to do this week is submit to me by class next week the company that you're going to work on. All you have to do is submit the company. So let's say Jessica likes Nike. She loves Nike running shoes. Sorry, Jessica, just implying you like Nike. Jessica likes Nike tennis shoes and sneakers. Sorry, sneakers, I'm dating myself there. Shoes. So she goes, I want to find out about Nike. And I do it in the context of this class. This might be kind of informative. So she by next Thursday, July 9th, will go to our class discussion forum where it says week 4 questions and comments, and create a file folder, create a forum there and say, Mr. Hassey, I want to use Nike as my project paper. Thank you, Jessica, you're done. And the reason why I want Jessica to do that is because I don't want any other of the 17 students in our class to do Nike. Okay? I don't want any of the other students in our class to pick Nike. Jessica now has Nike. And then if Michelle says, oh, I'm going to do Lululemon. Did I say that right?
Lululemon.
Lululemon, thank you, Jessica, which is a clothing retail company. She will open up a forum in week number 4 and says, Professor Hassey, I want Lululemon. Cool, no problem. Just so I know which companies you're doing, because sometimes students will give me a company and it's not in the Fortune 500, and I'll have to correct them. All right. So that's your job. It's not for a grade. It's just to let me know in the next week what project paper company you're going to do. Doesn't mean you have to do anything else with the paper this week. It means you have to pick a company that you're going to write on. Now, in the course of the next few weeks, and we'll talk about this in class, by the way, so I'm not going to leave you out in the cold about this. But what this is going to do is it's going to take what we're learning in class about accounting and financial statements and how businesses succeed and apply it and answer questions for a real live company. That's a good thing. Because if any of you are going to take maybe Professor Hassey in finance next fall, which as of yet is undecided, but we'll see. You're going to do a project like this looking at the financial statements of a company like Nike, like Lululemon. So this is a good thing, and it applies it to accounting. I have given you, as I said, a sample paper. You can download that and see what the process is, what you have to do. So the nature of this paper is to select a company, a major American corporation, and then look up their 10K financial information, and then answer the questions that's in the paper. And I'm going to bring up the paper in just a minute, or the information about the questions. This paper is going to be in Word or PDF in APA format. I don't know if any of you know or have worked on any classes in APA format. We'll talk about that. APA format, it means double-spaced. It means a title page. It means just certain formats on how you write a paper. Many of you probably have already heard about that. So that's our paper in our class. Jeez. Besides worrying about closing entries and trial balances, I got to now concentrate on writing papers. Yes, you do. Here's what the paper, or here's what the format looks like. This is a sample paper. And this is a sample paper that I give you in Blackboard. And this is, you can get a sample of this. This is what I mean by APA format. It has a title page with the name of the company you're reviewing and the so-called information of our class. It gives what is called an abstract, which is the purpose of the paper. What are you going to be trying to do in this document? Mr. Hassey, I'm trying to get an A by answering the questions you give me. All right, write that down. But here it is right here. And then it's a series of questions broken down into categories. The background of the company, the audit report, the profitability of the company, hopefully, the assets of the company, the liabilities of the company, the equity of the company, certain financial information like earnings per share, business segments. Do they have divisions? Do they have different segments of their business? Their cash flow, and their proxy statement. The proxy statement tells about the governance, who owns the company, who runs the company. It's called the proxy statement. Those are the questions. And each one of these, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, all the way through these sections are all questions I give you to answer. Who are the company's auditors? Who is our members of the audit committee? You find that answer and you write it into your paper. And you state the page that you got it on in the 10K. You footnote it where you got that information. But all these questions are asking you about, in this case, the name of this company is Costco. And see, A, B, C, D, and E, these are all questions I give you. You answer those questions and notice right next to the answer, it gives page 2 of the 10K. You look up and find that information, then you footnote it as you write it in your paper. Two things are going on here. First of all, you're practicing on how to do a specific type of business accountability research paper. And also you're learning about the finances of a major corporation in the context to accounting. Now, what are the pages you have to do? What are the questions? They're right here on the project overview. It gives you the questions, each question you have to answer. Notice I just said background information, audit, and so on. These are the questions you need to find in the 10K report. It seems like a lot, but it's not. Once you download that 10K, and by the way, do not print out the 10K. It's like probably 300 pages long. You download it to your computer, you open it up on your computer, and then you look at it and find that information. This is not something you do on your cell phone, by the way. This is something you're going to need a laptop or a desktop to do. But I'm giving you plenty of time, and I always tell students, maybe next week or after the midterm, you do a couple of sections every week. Don't wait till the week of August 9th and try to find and do all these questions. You're going to be stressed because remember that week also you have a final examination due as well. So you'll be advised to maybe click off a couple of sections every now and then over the next 5-6 weeks. All right. So this is the overview. These are the questions and the format, and I give you a sample on how it's done. So don't anyone pick Costco, okay? Thank you. No Costco. Thank you very much. Now this 10K filing is as of the most recent fiscal year of your company. Now for some companies, it will be December 31st, 2019. Some companies' fiscal years ended March 31st, 2020. It depends. But it's got to be for their most recent completed fiscal year. Thanks, Mr. Hassey. I still have all these quiz 2 things in my head, and now you're adding this layer. But that's what summer is all about, to have a good time and have fun. And that's why we're doing this. And above all else, if someday you're in a meeting at a company, or you're in a bank trying to borrow money, or you're in some situation and somebody says, geez, their 10K just came out and it looks lousy. And you go, oh, they've already finished their audit and they've prepared their 10K already? Boom. They're going to say, holy moly, you must have had Hassey in accounting if you already know about the 10K. This is an important business document. And it's a good thing in some respects you're learning about it now. So the project overview is in Blackboard. A sample paper is in Blackboard. It's due August 13th. The only thing you need to do this week is in your Blackboard discussion forum, right here, under week 4, type in, it looks like some people have already done that, you son of a guns. Type in, hi, Professor Hassey, this is the company I'm going to be doing my 10K. And then this weekend, I will open up your company's folder and say, Joel, that's cool. go on. But let's say I say, Jessica, sorry, that's not a Fortune 500 company. You're going to have to pick another one, or if you need help, I can help you. So once I sign off it, you can now begin the process to August 13th of doing your paper. Okay. And we're going to be looking at this every week during the course of the class, because as we get through for certain sections of our class, this will apply to the 10K questions that we're studying. So this is a good thing. It's not meant to make you irritable and upset. It's a good thing. It will make you irritable and upset, but it's not my purpose. Okay. So if you have any questions on that over the week or as we go forward in the course, you just let me know, but it's all right there. Here it is in the project paper file folder. The overview with all the questions. The overview with all the questions here that you could just click on that file. Oh, there are the questions. Okay, I see what you're talking about. And a sample paper that you can download. Every class that I have taught, every year, I have taught at least one accounting section since, here you go, hang on to your hats, since 1981. Yes, I'm old. I'm very old. But since 1981, and for every one of those accounting classes, you are part of history now. Every class has done this paper. You are now an exclusive club, so you should be honored for that. Whew, if you're buying that, God love you. Okay, so there we go. That's the project paper posted in Blackboard. There's the project paper file right there, file folder on the left-hand side, and you can see it there. And you can begin the process of picking your company this week, and then begin the paper. And I will be along your side the whole way in case you have troubles. But it's pretty straightforward. You'll see. The accounting cycle. We're finishing it tonight. Journal entries, ledger, trial balance, adjusting entries, post to the general ledger and or adjusted trial balance, financial statements, income statement, balance sheet, statement of owner's equity, closing entries, post those closing entries to the GL, and prepare a post-closing trial balance. Here's a summary of that process from the financial statements going forward. Right underneath it, I'm in week 3, by the way. Financial statement overviews, what makes up the financial statements from here's the adjusted trial balance, where you take what to what statement, the closing entries, the closing process, and the post-closing trial balance. Examples. The accounting cycle. Quiz number 1 was points 1 through 3. Quiz number 2, 4 through 9. Once we complete this, you will have a problem just like this on the midterm examination next week, from start to finish. No breaks, same company. Original entries, ledger. The good thing about it next week, guys, is I'm going to give you the T accounts already filled out, meaning formatted. You have to put in the postings, but I'm going to give you their ledger that's empty, but you don't have to worry about going to the spreadsheet and clicking on and putting together a general ledger. I'm going to save you some time next week and give you the ledger with the problem. Thank you, Mr. Hassey. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you'll have the ledger already formatted next week. All you have to do is post the entries, general journal, adjusting, and closing to that ledger I give you. Then you're still going to do the trial balances and the financial statements and all that. But you don't have to worry about, geez, in Excel, what a pain in the neck, put together that ledger in a spreadsheet. I'll give you that spreadsheet as part of the material of the midterm already ready to go with the general ledger. Even I'll give you the account names in the ledger. They'll be blank because you're the person who will be filling in the ledger as you go through the process. So that's got to make you feel a little bit better. You don't have to worry about that ledger. Putting it together, I will give it to you as part of the midterm. So this is where we are currently in our class, and this is where we end up with quiz 2 that you'll post either this evening or tomorrow, and then I will post the solutions, and you can review those solutions over the weekend and get ready for the next class. And this quiz 1 and 2 will be your study guide for the midterm. And the solutions that I give you will be the study guide for that section of the midterm. Yes, you're going to have some questions on retail accounting, but you won't have to do any journal entries. It'll all be the questions from 5 and 6 on the midterm will be all multiple choice or fill in the blank. No journal entries. The only journal entries you'll be doing is chapters 1 through 4, the accounting cycle. So you know what you can look forward to. Your job this week, besides picking a project paper, is to get quiz 2 wrapped up and a good ending knowledge of these 9 steps to complete the accounting cycle. Okay. The material's there. You have the time to practice. We will review quiz 2 next week in class once everything's all posted. Take like the first half hour of the class to review that. And that's where we stand. Okay, I'll move on. By the way, we're going to be done by 7:30 this evening. It's a holiday weekend. Enough with all this accounting stuff. I need a break. Let me get time to get this quiz 2 done. And so we'll be done in about an hour, just so you all know. We got plenty of time next week to finish up 5 and 6. All right. As I said earlier, up to this point in time, this is what we've been doing. I'm now in chapter 5. This is the material from chapter 5, defining retail accounting. Up to this point in time, we've been doing revenues minus expenses equals net income. Revenues, expenses. Okay, service organizations, service industries. Providing a service, they get the revenues, you have your expenses, you make a profit. This is what we've been doing these first 4 weeks of our class. Now we're getting into this. Merchandise accounting. All right, anybody go to the store today? Anybody go to the store today? Grocery store? Anybody go to buy some clothes today? Anybody in our class tonight? Anybody go to the store? Open up your mic and tell me, where'd you go?
The grocery store.
All right, Aubrey, you went to the grocery store. What grocery store? What was the name of it?
Grocery outlet.
Grocery outlet in the lovely town of?
Lompoc.
Lompoc, very nice. Did you happen to go to Bravo Pizza at all in the last day or so to have a nice pizza from Bravo?
I haven't. My kids have last week, but they didn't share. So
that's good. That's good to know. I have no idea what's going on with that question, but I just thought. Okay, so you went to what was the name of it again? Grocery what?
Grocery outlet.
Grocery outlet. So Aubrey went to the grocery outlet today. And when she went to the grocery outlet, and I'm not going to pick on her, but I know Aubrey, so the first thing she went to was buy a 6-pack of beer. Okay, 6-pack of beer, and she has expensive taste, so she bought Heineken. Ooh, Aubrey, I'm going to hang out with you. All right, so she went to grocery outlet and bought a 6-pack of Heineken. All right, let's say she paid. I should know this. Let's say she paid $9 for that 6-pack of Heineken. Okay, now How did the grocery outlet make the Heineken beer? No, they bought it from a company that was distributing Heineken beer. They bought it from a vendor.
Mhm.
And the reason why you go to grocery outlet is because they do that for all the other products in the store and gives you the luxury, the convenience of going to one place so you can get flowers, you can get meat, you can get cereals, you can get toilet paper, you can get beer, the whole stuff.
Mhm.
It's called a retail merchandiser. They buy from somebody else and then they sell it at a retail price to cover their cost of buying the Heineken beer and paying for all the expenses of running grocery outlet. This is what we're going to be doing now. All right. So let's use the example of Heineken beer for Aubrey. Aubrey, have you drank that beer yet? You just bought
No.
it today. Good. All right. Thank you. All right. So Aubrey bought the beer, and let's say she bought it for $9. And here it is under sales, $9. All right. And let's say grocery outlet paid Heineken distributor $4 for the beer. All right. So they grocery outlet charged Aubrey $9 and their cost of goods sold was $4. That means they had a gross profit of $5. That's their markup. That's their gross profit. The difference between what they paid for the product and what they sold it to Aubrey. That's the basis of all retail. So now $9 sales, a cost of goods sold of $4, their gross profit was $5. Now, wait a minute though. Grocery outlet has utility expenses, rent, employee expenses, insurance, all those other expenses of running grocery outlet. That's where the expenses go. So let's say all their expenses totaled $4. So they had a gross profit of $5. Their other expenses were $4. Grocery outlet is making $1 on every 6-pack of beer of Heineken they sell. Welcome to the world of retail accounting. All right. That's what we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, doing the accounting for that. Sales, cost of goods sold, gross profit is a financial statement term, recording the expenses and showing the profits, hopefully. All right? That's what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. That's what you're going to be reading about in Chapter 5. Now, Chapter 6 is all about accounting for this cost of goods sold. Okay? Chapter 6 is all about how do we keep track of all these Heinekens we buy? It's called inventory, right? Let's say we buy, remember I said the Heineken beer cost $4 a 6-pack for a grocery outlet. Let's say they buy 2 cases from their vendor, 2 cases. So there's 4 6-packs in a case. That's 8 cases times $4. That's $32. That's what it cost them. As soon as they write a check to that vendor for $32, they put it in an account called inventory. That inventory account is an asset account showing the world, oh, we own $32 of Heineken in our warehouse. It's called inventory, asset. Then they put those Heinekens on their shelves. That's my dopey neighbors, sorry. We just got some new neighbors with screaming kids. Nothing against kids, but the last time I had a screaming kid in this house was 20 friggin' years ago. All right. So today I gave him the evil eye like the old grumpy neighbor. Didn't look like they listened to me very well because they're out screaming in the neighborhood. All right, we'll let that go. Stay tuned for that episode because that'll continue on through the summer. All right, so back to saying we had an inventory of $32. So let's say we take 1 6-pack out of that inventory and Aubrey buys it. We have to do a journal entry debiting cost of goods sold for $4 and crediting inventory, the asset, $4 to show that we've now sold 1 6-pack of that Heineken beer. The cost of goods sold is the expense account showing, oh, we sold 1 6-pack of Heineken. The rest is sitting in inventory until we sell the rest of that Heineken beer. That's the main discussion of these next couple of weeks. That definition. Keeping track of sales, cost of goods sold through inventory, and expenses for a retail company. And here's what it looks like. Oops. Here's what it looks like. In the old days, and in quiz number 2, your income statement was revenue minus expenses, and whatever those expenses were. Now, revenues are now called sales. There's the cost of goods sold, what they paid for the product that they sold, and then the expenses of the company. Why is Maribel saying to everyone, nowhere? I don't understand that.
That's when you asked the question of who went out somewhere.
I did not hear whoever said, you sounded like the exorcist there. All right, we'll move on. Okay. So this is what we're studying in chapter 5 and 6. In chapter 5, we're learning about sales and this format of retail accounting. Chapter 6, we're learning about how to record inventory as an asset and then change it over to the cost of goods sold. Next week in class, we're going to be doing 3 problems, 5.1a, 5.3a, and 6.1a next week in class. I would like you all to take a look at those in the next week, but this is not for a grade. It'd be good if you try to prep yourself on how to do those in your textbook. If you don't want to do them, don't do them. But I will be reviewing 5.1a, 5.3a, 6.1a, and that's all the process of keeping track of inventory and recording retail accounting. The only difference is, really, the only big difference is we now buy a product from somebody else and then we sell it again to Aubrey, like we just did in the example. They bought Heineken for $4 and they sold it to Aubrey for $9. Restaurants, automobile companies, electricity companies, any company that provides a manufactured or a product for resale, electricity is for resale because they buy it from somebody else, is what we're studying now. And as you all know, most of the world involves that type of stuff. But it follows the same premise of the accounting cycle that we just did. Same system. The only difference is we have a couple of different accounts involved here. And this is kind of like a graphic. We have a beginning inventory of Heineken beer. We add some additional purchases of Heineken. So now we have total amount of Heineken available for sale. Then we sell it. The Heineken or the product that we sell goes to cost of goods sold, what it cost us to sell that product. And the rest of it that we don't sell stays in inventory. Aubrey, I went grocery shopping today too, and I went to Vons down here in Southern California. Vons is our grocery store here in Claremont. And when I go really early, like I won't tell you what time I go because it's obscene, but I go so early, they're still stocking the shelves for the day. They're still taking the inventory and putting it in the shelves. So they're getting ready to sell it to me by putting it up. They're putting their inventory on the shelves. Now, where do I have something here that I can do this with? Hang on. All right, I'll do this. Let's say I go to the ACCT store and buy a new iPhone. All right. On the iPhone, you guys have heard about this, is a barcode. You know the barcodes? Whenever you go to the store and the people at the store put the barcode over the register and it goes beep, beep, that beep when you buy something is taking it out of inventory and putting it into cost of goods sold and recording the sale. I was talking with Michelle earlier this week, and Michelle and I were going over some work, and she goes, I don't know how anybody in the world can do this. I go, Michelle, well, they don't. We have the beep, where computers do a lot of this work for us. So as soon as that beep goes, let's say Aubrey buys her Heineken and she takes it to the register and the checkout person runs it through the register and it goes beep. Right when that goes beep, an automatic journal entry is being done. Debit cash, $9, let's say she's paying in cash, and credit sales. And then at the same time, debit cost of goods sold, $4, and credit inventory, $4. That beep is doing that journal entry, those two journal entries. That's how it works. Anytime you hear a beep in a store, hey, next time you're at the grocery outlet, Aubrey, go to the lady, the man or the lady who's at the register and say, hey, it just beeped. Debit cash, credit sales, debit cost of goods, credit inventory. They'll look at you and they won't give you a dirty look. They'll say, you know, it's a pleasure to deal with somebody who had HASI in accounting, because they'll know exactly what you're talking about. That's what the beep is for. It does those journal entries for them. And then at the end of the day, it does a trial balance summarizing all that stuff. That's what stores do. Every store. I bought a new car a year ago. When I bought the car, and we made the arrangements, I paid for the car and getting ready to drive away, and the salesman goes, wait a minute, I got to do this. They opened up the car front door and ran the reader over the identification number of the car, and it did a beep. And I said to the car dealer, oh, that's your accounting record, isn't it? He goes, how did you know that? I've taken accounting from HASI. And so I knew exactly what that was going on. So whenever you hear that beep, this is the material that we're studying tonight and this next week. That's what that beep is doing. It's doing those journal entries automatically into the system. Right? Now, tell me, what other class can you get that kind of information and know the inside information of what's going on? I'm telling you, it's amazing. By the way, where's Blanca this evening? Is Blanca here? Where's Blanca? It was too quiet. It was eerily quiet. Jessica, do you know where Blanca is? I thought you were buddies. No, okay. She's going, are you kidding me? No. Wonder where Blanca is. Okay, let's not worry about that. Oh, I have a chat. Oh, thank you, Brian. Maribel did not go to the grocery store today. That's why she's saying that. Thank you. You didn't have to clear that up, but I appreciate it. Okay, so that's what retail accounting is all about. Let's take a look at some more stuff. I'm not going to go there. We're not going to study that. All right. Here's an example. And we've seen these entries before, but now the accounts are a little bit different. On November 2nd, by the way, excuse me, I'm choking here. Remember, I said in the midterm on chapter 5 and 6, we're not doing any journal entries. We're just doing definitions. So yes, these journal entries are important to know, but you're not going to be doing them in the midterm. You'll be doing them in the final, but not the midterm. So on November 2nd, Z-Mart purchased $500 of merchandise. Whenever it says merchandise, that means it's a product that we're going to resell. It's a product we're going to resell for cash. So they paid cash, credit $500, and in return, they got an asset. What's the asset? merchandise inventory. That means product that eventually you're going to sell. Here's another example. And if any of you are in purchasing or accounting with companies, you know what I'm talking about here. Instead of paying cash, they purchase the merchandise inventory on credit, accounts payable. Credit accounts payable, $500. But notice now in retail, we have credit terms. See this here? Credit term, 2/10 and over 30. In other words, if we who are buying that accounts payable, if we pay within 10 days, we can take a 2% discount. We can take a 2% discount. If we don't pay that liability in 10 days, we have to pay the net over 30. Okay? Now, I don't want to claim that I know exactly how the university in Laverne works your tuition payments or anything, but a lot of students get what is called scholarships or grants, but they're also called discounts. You get a discount. And they reduce the cost of the overall education by a discount because you got a good grade average. They want you as part of our program, whatever. You're a good student. A lot of reasons, but they give you a discount. Also, a real reason is they want you here. They don't want you going someplace else. All right, but be that as it may. It's so you give discounts, and that's what that 2/10 and over 30 is. That means if I pay this $500 back to this vendor in 10 days, I can get a 2% discount or $10 off the $500. If I don't have the money in 10 days, which a lot of us don't, I just have to pay that $500 in 30 days. So now in chapter 5, we're getting into discounting. And isn't our world, we live on discounts. You know what another word for discount? Coupons. You go to Bravo Pizza tomorrow night and get a pizza, and you in the newspaper, the local newspaper in Lompoc, excuse me, and online, you got a 10% discount coupon. So you take the 10% coupon discount to Bravo, and they charge you, instead of $20, you only have to pay $18 because you got a coupon for 10% off. Well, how's Bravo supposed to make any money? Well, really? They build that discount into their costs. And also, it entices people, say, geez, Bravo Pizza, they're giving me a great deal. Geez, University of Laverne is giving me a great deal. I'm going to go to school there. What a discount. It's part of marketing. And if you guys have not studied marketing yet, you will. And that's a big teaser in marketing is the discount. So there we go. Retail accounting, discounts. So let's say I have 30 days to pay it. If I pay within the discount period, I get less a discount. I have to only pay less a discount. And how do you know about that? Well, some of you might see these in your jobs now. Invoices. On the invoices, it says who's buying or who you're buying from, the date of that invoice. There's the terms of the invoice, how it's going to be shipped to you by Federal Express, how much you're buying. So I'm purchasing $500 of product, and if I take that discount within 10 days, I can pay $490, 20% of $500. So this is something new that we're getting into. So here's an example of that. We bought something on November 2nd, and we had a discount of 2%. So now 10 days later, we're paying the bill. Debit accounts payable $500. We're going to take 2% of $500. That's $10. So that means we're only going to pay cash $490. What do we do with the other $10? We credit the inventory account, lowering the amount that what we purchased because we took a discount. So that's the entry to record the paying of the liability of the merchandise when you get a discount. I'm trying to keep this light tonight because I know a lot of you are still thinking about quiz 2, and just by adding this to your head is going to drive you bananas. But this is the definitions, and we'll be talking more about this next week, but this gives us a pretty good idea of what chapter 5 is about. There's the T accounts. We created the liability. There's the inventory. Then we paid off the liability with the discount. There's the cash, and the discount is credited to inventory saying, okay, we originally bought 500, but we took $10 off because we paid it in 10 days. So we only purchased $490 of inventory. So that's how that works. If you don't make the discount period, you just pay all the $500. Now, you guys have done this. I don't do it too often because you can tell by the looks of my clothes, I don't buy very nice clothes. But do you ever buy something and you take it home and it doesn't fit? Or you return it to the store? It's called an allowance or a return item, okay? Now we have to deal with those, okay? Let's say I bought, of that $500 I just bought from Z-Mart, $30 of it was defective. This doesn't work. So you take it back to the store, or you take it back, or you send it, with Amazon, you can just put it back in the box again and send it again. They'll credit your credit card. But this is called a purchase return for defective merchandise. And notice I lower the amount I owe by $30, debiting accounts payable, and I reduce the inventory by $30 credit because I'm returning some defective merchandise. So not only now do we have discounts when we have to pay for it, but also we have to count for it. I mean, how many times in your life, especially at the Christmas season, that you have to return merchandise that doesn't fit or is busted? Or even in education, you know what? This class stinks. I want my money back. All right?
That's a thing?
I shouldn't have said that. That was something I shouldn't have said. Well,
We've all thought that before.
Yeah, that's all right. So, but that's another thing. We have to return defective merchandise. And I'm sure all of us have done that. Now you're going to be accounting for it. Oh, what a thrill. All right? Now you're going to be accounting for that. It's called purchase returns and allowances. Because you return. Jessica, where are you going? You're making me seasick.
My back's really bugging me in my office chair, so
Okay,
I'm going to move.
Did you finish the construction yet?
What?
Aren't you remodeling something?
No, no, we haven't started that yet.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Just keeping a brace of all my students, making sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to get out of this. That's what you need to know as of now from chapter 5. That's enough. All right. Just that process of what it means to buy something and sell something via retail. And always remember, whenever you're at the store and they run that beep, 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 an accounting entry is being done. An accounting entry is being done, and you're going to be practicing that, learning this over the next couple of weeks. Pretty good, huh? So that's what chapter 5 is all about. What I would like you to do this week is to read chapter 5 and read chapter 6. Now I put the PowerPoints in Blackboard, and if you don't feel like reading, those PowerPoints are very good. I just showed you a segment of the PowerPoint, and they're pretty good to review. Okay? Also, I'm going to be posting some videos in Blackboard and in YouTube to help you with that as well. But that's all you have to do for this week. And that's our main discussion next week is looking at examples of what we just saw in problems 5.1 and 5.3 and 6.1. That's what we'll be doing next week in class. All right, I'm going to take a short break because like Jessica, I have to go to the men's room. I shouldn't give you those details, but I do. There's nothing worse than a professor who's got to go to the bathroom. He's like this. I got to get out of here. All right. So let's take about a 10-minute break, and we'll come back and then finish it up for tonight. Okay. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Thanks. Okay, I know where Blanca is. I remembered. She's traveling today, and she's at a place where there's very little internet. So that's where she is. I knew about that. So let's not put Blanca under the bus and get in trouble. She's okay. All right, one last thing, and then we'll call it a night. Or I'll stay around if anybody has any questions about quiz 2, but everybody else can leave. While we're on the subject, all right, let's stop this for just a minute, and let's go around the room. Elijah, what are you doing this July 4th weekend? Anything exciting I should know about?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, so I'm an out-of-state student. My family lives in Nevada, and I kind of live by myself. So I honestly don't have anything planned.
Okay, well that's
Over to
all
my
right.
house, barbecue. Oh, sorry, my mic's on.
Jessica, what are you doing this weekend while your mic's on that's exciting?
I'm actually off for the first time for 4th of July in over 10 years. So my family and I are going to barbecue and then probably just do some legal fireworks with my son.
Be careful. Aubrey, what are you doing this holiday weekend that's fun and exciting?
My sister and her family is here from Boston.
Ah,
So we were all going to go to the beach, and then today they closed the beaches. So it looks like we're having double-decker tacos at my house. So, and there's a ton of kids. We have a ton of kids between us. So
how long has your sister lived in Boston?
she grew up in California, and I want to say she moved out about 20 when she was 24. So she's 40 now. So a
So
good
does she
16 years.
does she talk like this? Does she park a car in Boston?
No, her husband does, and it's hilarious. We
There you go.
love making him talk.
Pretty funny. Michelle Burns, what are you doing exciting this weekend? And don't say accounting. I'll get mad at you.
Well, I guess you're gonna get mad at me. Well, I have an order from for a company to make some face masks. They need them immediately, so I have a big order to fill. So I need to get that done. So I'll be working on that and accounting.
How many masks do you have to do?
About 40.
Good for you. That's good.
For this company right here.
Well done. Well done. Daniel Jennings, what are you doing this weekend that's exciting? You know, I'm doing the exact same thing, Daniel. I hear you. I'm doing the exact same thing. Brian Rodriguez, what are you doing exciting this weekend? Brian is having a small barbecue at his house and supporting the local businesses by going to the bar.
Where's your clothes?
My clothes are on. Whoever said that, my clothes are nowhere to be seen, so I'm not going to stand up, I'll tell you that right now. So,
No, I said bars are closed, I thought.
Oh, I thought you said clothes. Take off your clothes or something.
No.
All right, so Brian, you're going to have to work around that bars are closed deal. Or I'm glad this is an online class. I don't have you want you breathing on me. All right. Cassandra, what are you doing exciting this weekend?
I am catching up on some math homework, and I have econ homework, and I'm not sure if I have my kiddos yet.
Okay, so you're both going to have the same type of weekend I'm going to be having. Good job.
Yeah. Yep.
Jager, what are you going to be doing this weekend that's exciting? Oh, Jager's just working on homework. Thank you, Jager. Joel, what are you going to be doing exciting this weekend? I got a kitten, so I'm going to party hard with him. Party hard with a kitten. All right, Joel, to each his own. That's very nice. Maribel, what are you going to be doing this weekend that's exciting? Doesn't anybody want to turn on their mic? Well, Maribel is going to be working on homework. Sorry, no, Mark. Government computers block mic and video chat. You're using a government computer. I'm going to tell President Trump on you. Cynthia, what are you going to be doing exciting this weekend?
Just probably the same as Cassandra, getting catch up with math homework and we're probably gonna go to my fiance's family's house and just barbecue and yeah.
Very good. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cynthia. And
Thank you.
finally, Sandy, what are you going to be doing exciting this weekend?
I have to work this weekend, so I'm gonna be doing that, and then I have homework.
But Sandy, you'll be making money.
Yeah,
That's
that's
you'll
true.
be making debit cash. Debit cash.
Yeah.
So anybody ever tells you, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" I'm debiting cash. I'm debiting
All right.
cash. All right? Great. Okay, good. That sounds good, Sandy. Sorry you have to work, but that's okay.
It's all good.
All right. So, what am I doing this weekend? I'm playing golf tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to be running away from home. I can't stand my wife bothering me all the time. Got to turn what's going on here. I can't stand my dopey kids calling me from New York and Boston all the time, driving me nuts, looking for money. The hell with them. I'm running away from home, and I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to be, but I'll be back by next Thursday. Well, no, I'll be back by next Monday. So I'll be back, but I'm running away from home. So
What if
that's,
I need help? You'll be gone.
I'll have my phone with me. I'll always be incommunicado. And whenever, this is one of the Darth Vader sides of being an instructor. Whenever you send me a Blackboard message, whenever you post something, whenever you call me, email, this damn thing buzzes me. So I'll always be there for you, Michelle. Always. Trust me.
Oh, thank you.
You buying that? Forget it. No. Okay. All right. Elijah, I'm sorry you have to be away from your family. That's no fun. Be by yourself. That's not good.
It's all right. I mean, I'm out here for personal reasons. I have like my own marketing business that I started while I was at Hancock, and so after I graduated Hancock, I decided to kind of stay out here and continue my education, so continue to work. So.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a weird weekend because, as Aubrey said, you can't go to the beach. You'll get arrested.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
That's why I don't have any plans because I can't really do anything. So.
Well, you can play golf because everybody's pretty cool on the golf course, but there's not much else to do. I kind of like what Brian's going to a bar, but I like to know which bar is going to be open, and then I'm going to tell Governor Newsom about that one. All right. Let's get back to our work. All right, here we go. Just one more thing and then get out of here. All right. One last thing, and this is, again, to highlight what we just talked about. We're recording the sale of merchandise. So when we say merchandise, we mean product that has been purchased from somebody else. That's the definition of merchandise. And when we sell merchandise, two things happen. We recognize the revenue, the selling retail price of that product, and we have to recognize the cost that we paid to purchase that merchandise from a vendor. Recognize the revenue, that's called sales, and recognize the cost of the good that was sold, and that's called cost of goods. Right? That's called cost of goods. So that's what we're doing now in retail accounting. We're not like in quiz number 2, Reggie Dunlop, or whatever that name of that, what was the company I got right here? Glow Styling. Where do I come up with these names? Glow Styling. Glow Styling provided a service, but they wouldn't sell anything that they purchased from a vendor. Now in chapter 5, we're selling something that we've purchased from somebody else. And that's why it's called merchandise retail. And that's the beginning of our discussions here. All right. That's enough of our class for this evening. I am going to stay here, though, for as long as I need to, for anybody who's online right now and has some questions about the first 4 chapters and quiz number 2. I know some of you have already posted it, and I appreciate that, but others I gave a little bit extra time because of work and a variety of things. This is important stuff to get mastered. So I'm going to stay here and answer any questions that some people may have. If not, you're free to go. I will be posting this video tomorrow morning, but I wanted to wish you all a very safe and sane weekend. If you have relatives visiting from Boston, tell them go Bruins, go Bruins. If they're from Boston, but the Red Sox stink, go Bruins from Boston. All right. I lived in Boston for 4 years. I had enough of that. I had to get out of there. All right. And then you guys have a safe weekend. I will post the grades to quiz 2 this weekend, and I'll send you an email when they're all posted so you know that. And I'll see you guys all next week. And take a look at those 3 problems from chapter 5 and 6 if you want to before class next week, just to get prep for the class and our discussions. Be safe, everybody, and be healthy. There's a lot of knuckleheads running around out there without masks, so be careful. And we'll sign off for people, but I'm going to stay on if anybody has any questions. And even if you don't have any questions, you just want to listen into the questions, I will let you know. Now, Maribel just brought up a question on chat. When will the midterm be posted? The midterm will be posted at 7 o'clock next Thursday, July 9th, 7 p.m. during class. Midterm will be posted at 7 p.m. next Thursday night, 7 p.m. Okay, good question, Maribel. Thank you. All right. Anybody have any questions out there for me in regards to quiz 2, quiz 1, whatever? Cynthia.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hussey, for the midterm, then is due, so it's gonna be posted on the 9th, and then it's due the next. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm on the. I'm sorry.
All right, who's that just shouted out in your family?
That's my son. I'm so sorry.
What's his name? What's his name?
Noah.
All right, Noah. Listen to your mother. All right.
Listen to me.
So
I tell you, Mr. Hussey, I tell you. Anyway,
how old's Noah?
He is 7.
When my son was 7 years old, he spent the whole year in a closet. He didn't let him. I just kept him the whole year in the closet.
See, this is the reason why I mute myself, and I just I don't even have me anymore.
And he ended up all right. I mean, he's a nice guy. He lives in Boston. He's a lawyer, for Pete's sakes. He's doing pretty good. But he spent his 7th year in a closet, and it helped him. Okay. No, if the exam is given out at 7 p.m. on July 9th, and it's due at midnight on July 15th.
Perfect.
Midnight, okay. July 15th.
Midnight. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hussey.
All right, Cynthia. Take care. Say hi to Noah. Lisa Barlow, question? No. This is like my life right now. I just stare at a computer screen.
Oh gosh.
Mr. Hassey, with the once you grade or have time to grade the quizzes, can you also add in notes like you did with last time if you have time?
I always do.
Okay. I'm kind of nervous about the one that I turned in.
I always do. Don't worry about that.
Before the final, will we have more time to practice? Just because even though we're at the end of learning how to close the books, I'm not feeling 100% confident that I could do it multiple. I just wanted to know if we're going to have more practice before the end of term, so, to practice.
The class.
This is it.
We're going to the second to the last class. We're going to have a review session.
Okay.
But I'm also going to have, because I'm such a cool guy, we're going to have a special final exam review session on a Saturday afternoon that people can zoom in, and I have a whole sample of a final that I'll go through.
Great.
And I will record that and make it available for people. Saturdays are a tough day for some people, but we will be having a Saturday. I think it's just looking at the calendar. It'll probably be Saturday, August 8th.
Okay.
And we'll have a review session, a special class on that day. And if nobody comes, I'm just going to blab in the computer and then post a video.
Okay.
But we will have a review session for the accounting final on Saturday, August 8th.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
great.
Whoops. I don't think Lisa knows her mic's on.
Oh.
I have to go. My computer battery's about to die, but
What's your sister's
you.
name? What's your sister's name?
Nikayla.
Nikayla. Tell Nikayla, Professor Hassey used to live in Back Bay in Boston for 4
okay.
years, and he knows all about the knuckleheads who live in Boston, but everything's fine. All right, tell her I said hi,
will.
and enjoy your weekend with her.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty.
You done, Jessica?
Yeah, I'm gonna get started on my econ homework.
Okay, so I knew a lot of you were stressed, and I wanted to give a little break this evening. And I knew a lot of people weren't going to make it tonight because of travel and stuff. So we kept it fairly short tonight.
Appreciate
All right,
it.
Jessica, we'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Be safe.
See you, Cynthia.
Bye.
Have a good weekend, Professor Hassey.
Elijah, take care of yourself and be careful.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye. See you later, Lisa. Michelle,
Yes.
it's you and me.
Yes. Okay, on the project paper, is everything, we have an example of how you want the paper constructed, right? On the last, okay, so everything is explained, clear. Okay,
Well, as clear as I need it to be for you. You're going to have to still figure out some things, but
okay,
and again, with this work, this paper, Michelle, you just call me up. Mr. Hassey, am I doing this right? Is this right? Is this right? You can do that, and I will tell you yes or no.
okay,
Don't worry about that.
okay,
Okay?
okay. And I will get my homework in. I think I'm over processing it. After my first grade, it kind of put me in a little shock.
Okay, well, Michelle, you don't have to turn it in tonight. If you want to relax and finish it up tomorrow, that's no problem. So you do whatever you need to do, okay?
Okay,
All right?
all right.
You're a good person. Thank you very much. And enjoy your weekend, okay?
Thank you, and you too.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
My hair's getting longer. I need a shave. I'm a mess. Adios.